Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you all are doing good. So, in last class, we were discussing about negotiation, negotiation instruments. Now, we are going to start the new topic, that is negotiation by endorsement. We are going to start the new topic now, that is negotiation by endorsement. Let's see what it is written here. What is the meaning of endorsement? But to endorsement means to transfer the instrument from one person to another. For example, I have made a check of 10,000 rupees and I have given that check to Mr. Ram. Now, if Mr. Ram transferred that check to Mr. Sham, it will be known as endorsement. Endorsement means to deliver the instrument, to deliver the document from one person to another. It is known as endorsement. Got my point? Subject to the provision of section 58, a promissory note, bill of exchange or check is negotiable by the holder by endorsement and delivery thereof. So a promissory note, bill of exchange and check, all the three negotiable instruments are can be endorsed by the holder by the way of delivery. An endorsement may be in favor of another individual or legal entity. But so you can endorse the bill of exchange, promissory note, and check to some person or to some entity, that is company or firm. An endorsement provides a transfer of the property to that other individual or legal entity. To the legal entity or to the individual to whom you will transfer, to whom you will endorse the promissory note, bill of exchange or check, it will be known as they will be the owner of the property. And endorse provide the transfer of property to the other individual or legal entity. The person to whom the instrument is endorsed is called the endorsee. The person making the endorsement is called the endorser. Okay. Suppose I have a check. I delivered that check to Mr. Amit. So the person to whom the check is delivered is known as endorsee. And the person who is making the delivery, who is endorsing the check, will be known as endorser. Got my point, everyone? The essential of a valid endorsement. The endorsement must be done either on the back of the instrument, or is there no space, then it must be made on a separate paper attached to it. But so suppose you want to endorse the instrument. Suppose you want to endorse the instrument means you want to transfer the instrument from one person to another person. Mr. Ram also transferred the instrument to Mr. Amit. So they have to write either on the back of the instrument or at the face of the instrument that this instrument is being endorsed to Mr. Amit. And if there is no space at the back of the instrument or at the front of the instrument, then you have to attach a separate paper to it and then transfer the instrument. The endorsement must be done in ink. Any endorsement done in pencil or rubber stamp will be considered to be invalid. But so if you are endorsing a bill or a promissory note or a check to another person, it must be done through ink, means through ball pen or gel pen or any pen. It cannot be done through pencil. If it is done through pencil, then it will not be considered as a valid endorsement. The stranger cannot endorse. It is necessary to be done by the maker or holder of the instrument. Obviously, if I am the maker of the check, suppose, so I will endorse now. A stranger cannot endorse. Or if I have endorsed the check to the Ram, Mr. Ram will become the holder. Now he can only endorse the check. A stranger cannot endorse the check or any instrument. Endorsement must be in writing. Obviously, endorsement cannot be in oral, it must be in writing. Endorsement must sign it. Endorser must sign it. Whoever is endorsing the bill or promissory note or check must sign it. It must be complete by the delivery of instrument. The endorsement must be of the entire bill. Partial endorsement is not operated as a valid endorsement. But to suppose I have drawn a check of 10,000 and I have given that check to Mr. Ram. I have drawn a check of rupees 10,000. I put my signature on the check and I have given that check to Mr. Ram. Now Mr. Ram wants to endorse that check to Mr. Rahul. That check is of rupees 10,000. Mr. Ram cannot endorse the check for only 5,000 or 6,000 or 8,000. It means partial endorsement is not possible. You have to endorse complete check. So partial endorsement is not operated as valid endorsement. You have to do full endorsement. Types of endorsement. Number 1, blank endorsement, where the endorser sign his name only, it becomes payable to bearer. It means, suppose I have drawn a check. I have written the amount 10,000, just put my signature. It will be known as blank endorsement. It means, suppose I am giving the check to Ram. It is a blank endorsement. Ram can give it to Sham. Sham can give it to Sita. Sita can give it to Amit. Amit can give it to Rahul. It is known as blank endorsement, where the endorser just puts his signature on the instrument. Full endorsement, where the endorser put his signature and write the name of the person who will receive the payment. Suppose I made a check of 10,000 and I write the name of Mr. Ram as account payee. Now, through that check, only Mr. Ram can take the payment. That check cannot be endorsed to any other person. It is known as full endorsement, where the endorser sign the instrument and write the name of the endorsee, means the person who will receive the payment. Restrictive endorsement. Bachcho, restrictive endorsement is that endorsement which restrict further negotiation of the bill or promissory note or check. Partial endorsement. It is defined under section 56 that explains that an instrument cannot be endorsed for a part of its amount. As I told you, partial endorsement is not a valid endorsement. Example, if an endorsement is for 200, it cannot be endorsed for 100 only. Conditional endorsement, where the fulfillment of some condition is required. But where fulfillment of some condition is required, it is known as conditional endorsement. Example, pay Jed if he returns from America. Thus, Jed will receive the payment only if he returns from America. For there is a condition that Jed will receive the payment only if he returns from America. So, only after he returns from America, he will receive the payment. So, this is a conditional endorsement. Negotiation back. Now, Bachu, please try to understand this. I am giving you an example. Mr. A sold goods rupees 500 to Mr. B. Mr. A sold goods rupees 500 to Mr. B. Now, Mr. B gives a bill of exchange to Mr. A of rupees 500. So Mr. A sold goods of rupees 500 to Mr. B. Now Mr. A is demanding 500 from Mr. B. Mr. B gives a bill of exchange to Mr. A of rupees 500. Now bill of exchange is with Mr. A of rupees 500. Okay. Mr. C sold goods rupees 500 to Mr. A. Mr. C sold goods rupees 500 to Mr. A. Now, Mr. A will give 500 to Mr. C. So what Mr. A did? Mr. A gives the bill of exchange which he has received from Mr. B to Mr. C. So Mr. A gives bill of exchange of rupees 500 to Mr. C. So A gets a bill of exchange from B and A has given that bill of exchange to Mr. C. Now Mr. C, Mr. B sold goods of rupees 500 to Mr. C. Mr. C gives bill of exchange of rupees 500 to Mr. Now, बच्चों, Mr. C has given the bill of exchange of 500 to Mr. B. So, बच्चों, in this case, first of all, the bill was made by Mr. B, and Mr. B given that bill to A. A gives it to C, and C again gives it to Mr. B. So this is known as negotiation back, where the maker of the bill receives the bills back. Where the maker of the bill receives the bill back. Where the maker of the instrument receives the instrument back. It is known as negotiation back. It is known as negotiation back. Where an endorser negotiates an instrument and again becomes its holder. Where an endorser negotiates, deliver an instrument and again becomes its holder, we know it is a negotiation back. After negotiation back, none of the immediately endorser are liable to him. For example, Ram, the holder of the bill, endorsed it to Bala. Bala endorsed it to Kala, and Kala endorsed it to Lala, and endorses it again to Mr. Ram. Now, the person who has initially endorsed the bill, who has made the bill, again become the holder of the bill. This is known as negotiation back. Negotiation of lost instrument or debt obtained by unlawful means. When a negotiation instrument has been lost, suppose you have any check, bill of exchange or promissory note that is been lost and is obtained from a maker, acceptor, holder by means of fraud, and other person obtained it from the maker, acceptor, holder by fraud or by unlawful act, is entitled to receive the amount due thereon from such maker, acceptor, holder from any party prior to such holder. Got my point, everyone? Okay. Now let's move ahead. I am sharing another PPT with you. Crossing of check. What is crossing of check? बच्चों, crossing of check. Suppose बच्चों, I have purchased rupees 1 lakh goods from Mr. Ram. I have purchased goods worth rupees 1 lakh from Mr. Ram. I have given a check to Mr. Ram. I just put my signature and fill the amount 1 lakh and given it to Ram. It is known as non-crossing of check. Now, in this type of check, it is known as open check. It is known as open check, where there is no crossing done. It is known as open check. Now, Mr. Ram can go to the bank, and from the bank counter, he will show the check. He will give the check to the cashier, and the cashier will give him 1 lakh rupees at the cash counter of the bank. Again, I am repeating. I purchased goods for rupees 1 lakh from Mr. Ram. Sorry, I purchased goods of rupees 1 lakh from Mr. Ram. I have made a check of 1 lakh and put my signature and give it to Mr. Ram. This type of check is known as open check. Now Mr. Ram will go to the bank. He will show the check at the cash counter of the bank. The cashier will check the check and will give 1 lakh rupees to Mr. Ram at the counter. So this type of check is known as open check. What is cross check? Suppose same example, I have purchased goods for rupees 1 lakh from Mr. Ram. Now I am giving 1 lakh rupees check to Mr. Ram. I made a check of rupees 1 lakh, put my signature, and on the top left of the check I put two parallel lines. At top left of the check I put two parallel lines and I've written accountee pay. It is known as cross check. What is the purpose of doing this? The purpose of doing this is now the money will go in the bank account of the pay. Now the money will go in the bank account of Mr. Ram. The Mr. Ram will not be able to take the cash from the counter of the bank. The bank will transfer the amount in the account of Mr. Ram. This type of check is known as cross check. So bachcho, check can be either open or cross check. A open check is bearer check. It is payable over the counter on presentment by the pay to the banker. While a cross check is not payable over the counter and shall be collected through the banker. The amount payable for the cross check is transferred to the bank account of the payee. The amount will be transferred to the bank account, and then the payee can take the amount from his bank account. So here is the image of open check. Here is the image of open check. Bachcho, there is no line here. This is an open check. This is an open check. You see, I have written the amount 22,35,000 in words and in signature, in words and in figures, and also signature is there at the bottom right. This is a cross check. As you can see at the top left, you can see two parallel lines and accountee pay is written. So, bachcho, through this type of check, the 10,000 will now go in the bank account of Atul Vasan. You can see the pay name also written Atul Vasan. Can you see the pay name written Atul Vasan? Accountee pay check it is. Now this 10,000 Atul Vasan cannot collect over the counter. This 10,000 will be deposited by the banker in the Atul Vasan's account, and Atul Vasan can take this amount from his bank account after the money is transferred. It is known as cross check. A crossing is an instruction to the paying banker to pay the amount of check to a particular banker and not over the counter. So, bachcho, what does this accountee pay crossing indicates? It indicates the banker that not to pay the amount over the counter, instead transfer the amount in the pay account. Crossing is an instruction to the paying banker to pay the amount of check to a particular banker and not over the counter. The crossing of check secures the payment to a banker. It also traces the person for receiving the amount of check. It also traces the person for receiving the amount of check. Now, बच्चों, suppose in future you want to know that to whom you have made the payment. So through cross check, the amount has been transferred to the bank account of pay. So in future you can trace the person who has received the money over the check. In future, if you want to check to whom I have made the payment, you can trace that person. Addition of word non-negotiable accounting pay only is necessary to restrain the negotiability of the check. The crossing of a check ensures security and protection of the holder. But so through crossing of the check, it ensures security and protection. How it will ensure security and protection? How will crossing of a check ensure security and protection to the holder? For example, I have purchased rupees 10,000 goods from Mr. Amit. I made a check, I put my signature, and I have written the amount 10,000 and give it to Mr. Amit. Open check. Suppose by mistake Mr. Amit lost that check. That check is found by Mr. Sumit. Mr. Sumit take the check to the bank and show the check to the banker. The banker have paid 10,000 to Sumit over the counter. But suppose I have purchased the goods from Mr. Amit of 10,000 and I have given him the check of 10,000, that is cross check. It means the amount will go only in Mr. Amit's bank account. Now, if he lost the check, if Mr. Amit will lose the check and Mr. Sumit finds the check, then also Mr. Sumit cannot get the payment. So, बच्चों, crossing of a check ensures security and protection of the holder. Types of crossing. बच्चों, how many types of crossing are there? Types of crossing under section 123 to 131A. General crossing, special crossing, restrictive crossing, non-negotiable crossing. There are 4 types of crossing. Number 1 is general crossing. बच्चों, check bear across its face in additional of 2 parallel lines is known as general crossing. If on the check you see 2 parallel lines, if on a check you just see 2 parallel lines, it will be known as general crossing. Special crossing. Check bear across its face in addition to the banker's name. If the banker name is also written on the check, that this check can be put in SBI only, or this check can be put in ICICI only, or this check can be put in Bank of Baroda only, it is known as special crossing. Restrictive crossing. It directs the collecting banker that he need to credit the amount of check only to the account of pay. On restrictive crossing, what you do, along with crossing the check, you write the name of the pay, so that the bank can only credit the amount to the account of the pay whose name is written on the check. Now that pay cannot transfer the check to any other person because his name is written on it. This is known as restrictive crossing. Non-negotiable crossing. It is when the word non-negotiable are written between the 2 parallel lines. If you write the word non-negotiable between the 2 parallel lines, you cannot transfer the check from one person to another. General crossing. In case of general crossing of check, the paying banker will pay amount to any banker. For the purpose of general crossing, 2 parallel lines at the corner of the check are necessary. But to suppose I made a check, I put 2 parallel lines, it means the amount will go in the account of the banker. But the person to whom I am giving the check can put that check in any bank, whether in SBI or in ICICI or in BOB or in PNB, any bank. It is known as general check crossing. Special check crossing. In a special crossing, the check bear across its face an addition of the banker's name. But in special crossing, along with the 2 parallel lines, you put the name of the bank. Now that check can be put in that bank only. and the amount will be credited in pay's account only in that bank only. Restrictive crossing. This type of crossing restricts the negotiability of the check. It directs the collecting banker that he need to credit the amount of check only to the account of pay or the party named or his agent. So बच्चों, through restrictive check crossing, what you do, along with two parallel lines, you write the name of the pay. Suppose I am giving a check to Mr. Amit. So I made a check of rupees 10,000, put my signature, put two parallel lines, and I have written the name of Mr. Amit. Now that check can be put in the Mr. Amit's account only. Mr. Amit cannot transfer the check to any other person. I have restrict the transferability of the check. Non-negotiable check crossing. It is when the word non-negotiable are written between the two parallel lines across the face of the check. In the case of general crossing or in the case of special crossing along with the name of the banker. Advantages or importance of crossing a check. What are the advantages or importance of crossing the check? Minimize the risk. The crossing of the check gives the paying banker instruction to pay the amount directly through the banker and not directly to the paid. It is an effective way to minimize the risk of loss or falsification. So बच्चों, crossing of check will minimize the risk because the amount will be transferred to the pay account. Now, if in case in future there is any dispute, you can show that you have transferred the amount in the pay's account because there is a transaction entry. The amount has been transferred in his bank account. Paying instruction. Crossing is a way for the paying banker to generally pay the money to the bank or particular bank as applicable. Suppose I have given an account pay check to Mr. Ram. Now Mr. Ram takes the check to his bank, that is ICICI Bank. Now ICICI Bank will see the check and they will get to know that this amount has to be put in Mr. Ram's account. This account need not to be given Mr. Ram at the counter. The amount has to be deposited in Mr. Ram account. So it gives an instruction to the banker. Payment through bank. Obviously, through crossing of check, you will get the payment through the bank account only. For example, I received a check from Mr. Amit of 1 lakh rupees. That check was an account pay check. I deposited the check in my bank account. Now, after the check is cleared, I will receive the payment from the bank account, from my bank account only. So I will receive the payment through the bank only. Receiver of the amount. As only a banker secure the payment of a cross check, the money received can easily be transferred for whole use. Negotiability. Mere crossing a check does not affect with negotiability. Suppose I have made a check of 10,000 and I have given the check to Mr. Ram. I have made a cross check, but I do not write the name of any person. Now Mr. Ram can give it to Mr. Sham. Mr. Sham can give it to Mr. Amit. Anyone can give it to anyone, but the amount will be transferred to the bank account only. Got my point, everyone? So this was crossing of check. Now let's move ahead. I'm sharing another PPT with you. This was crossing of check. Now we are going to discuss what is dishonor of check. So again, I'm repeating what is crossing of check. Crossing of check means, sir, if you make a check, the maker of the check puts two parallel lines on the top left corner of the check. The maker of the check puts two parallel lines on the top left corner of the check. It is known as cross check. And if there is no such parallel line, then it will be known as open check. Dishonor of check. What is dishonor of check? Check are used in almost all transactions, such as repayment of loan, payment of salary, bill, fees, etc. So check is used almost in all transactions, that is payment of any loan, payment of salary, payment of bill, fees, etc. A vast majority of checks are processed and cleared by banks on daily basis. So बच्चों जो banks हैं, banks cleared huge amounts of check, huge quantity of check on daily basis. Checks are issued for the reason of securing proof of payment. Obviously, we make the payment through check so that there should be, so that proof should be there that we have made the payment. Nevertheless, checks remain a reliable method of payment for many people. On the other hand, it is always advisable to issue account pay check only in order to avoid its misuse. You should always issue account pay check only, so that the person can put the check and receive the amount to the account only. So that there should be an entry. There will be an entry that you can show if there is any dispute. So it is advisable that you should issue crossed account pay check only. A check is a negotiable instrument. Crossed and account pay check are not negotiable by any person other than the pay. A check is a negotiable instrument. A check is a negotiable instrument means a check can be transferred from one person to another. Check have to be deposited to the pay's bank account if it is a crossed check. Legally, the author of the check is called drawer, and the person in whose favor the check is drawn is known as payee. The person who makes the check is known as maker or drawer, and in whose favor the check is made is known as payee. And the banker who is directed to pay the amount is known as drawee. The banker who is directed to pay the amount is known as drawee. For example, I make a check of 10,000. My bank account is in SBI, and I have given the check to Mr. Amit. I will be known as drawer or maker of the check. Mr. Amit, who is going to receive the payment, will be known as payee, and SBI Bank, who is directed to pay the amount, will be known as drawee. However, cases of check bounces are common these days. Sometimes check bearing large amount remain unpaid and are written by the banker on which they are drawn. But what is the meaning of check bounce? Check bounce means, suppose I received a check of 1 lakh. I put the check in the bank account, but the person from whom I received the check do not have sufficient fund. The bank will return the check, dishonor the check. It is known as check bounce. So check bounce are very common these days. Dishonor of check is a criminal offense, and it is punishable by imprisonment up to 2 years, or with monetary penalty, or with both. But to dishonor of check is a criminal offense, punishable by imprisonment up to 2 years, or you can also have to pay monetary penalty, or you have to go to jail also and pay penalty also. If a check is dishonored, when a check is dishonored, the drawee bank immediately issues check return memo. But whenever the check is dishonored, the bank will immediately issue check return memo to the bank or banker of the payee, mentioning the reason for non-payment. The reason may be insufficient balance, or signature do not match, etc. The payee's banker then gave the dishonored check and memo to the payee. The holder and payee can resubmit the check within 3 months of the date on it if he believes it to be honored the second time. However, if the check issuer failed to make a payment, then the payee has the right to prosecute the drawer's liability. The payee may legally use the drawer for dishonor of check only if the amount mentioned in the check is toward discharge of debt or other liability of the defaulter towards pay. If the check was issued as a gift toward lending a loan or unlawful purpose, then the drawer will not cannot be prosecuted in such case. Legal action. Negotiable Instrument Act 1881 is applicable for case of discharge of check. What legal action you can take? You can take if a check is dishonored or check bounce. The act has been amended many times since 1881. Dishonor of check is a criminal offense, and if a check is dishonored, the person who has made the check, the maker of the check, can go to jail up to 2 years, or can have to pay penalty, or both. He can go to jail and pay penalty both. If paid decide to proceed legally, then the drawer should give a chance of repaying the check amount immediately. If a chance has to be given, only in the form of notice in writing. Suppose I have received a check from Mr. Amit of rupees 1 lakh. I put the check in the bank account, but the check is dishonored because Mr. Amit do not have sufficient fund in his bank account. Now, if I want to proceed legally, I should give a chance to Mr. Amit. I called Mr. Amit and I told him that your check is dishonored. I also has given him a written notice that your check is dishonored. Please pay me the amount within 15 days or 10 days or any days. Otherwise, I will file a case against you. The payee has to send the notice to the drawer within 30 days from the date of receiving check return memo from the bank. Suppose I have received a check from Mr. Amit of rupees 1 lakh. I put the check in the bank. Now check is dishonored. Now the bank will give me the check return memo. Now after receiving the check return memo, within 30 days I have to send a notice to the drawer that your check is dishonored. The notice mentioned that the check amount has to be paid by the payee within 15 days. The notice mentioned that the check amount has to be paid to the payee within 15 days from the date of receipt of the notice by the drawer. If the check issuer failed to make a fresh payment within 30 days of receiving the notice, the payee has the right to file a criminal complaint. If the person who had made the check did not make the payment after receiving the notice, then the payee can file a case against him. However, complaint should be registered in a magistrate's court within a month of the expiry of the notice. It is essential in case to consult an advocate who is very well versed and experienced in his area of expertise to proceed further in the matter. If you want to proceed legally in the check bounce matter, then you should consult always a lawyer. Conditions for prosecution. Legally, certain conditions have to be fulfilled in order to use the provision of section 120-138. The check should have been drawn by the drawer or an account maintained by him. The check should have been returned or dishonored because of insufficient fund in the banker's account. The check is issued towards discharge of the debt or legal liability. After receiving the notice, the drawer does not make the payment within 30 days from the date of receiving the notice, then he committed an offense punishable under section 138 of the Negotiable Instrument Act. Punishment and penalty. On receiving the complaint, along with the affidavit and relevant paper trail, the court will issue summon, and after hearing the matter, if found guilty, the defaulter may be punished with a monetary penalty, which may be twice the amount of check, or imprisonment for a term which may be extended to 2 years or both. The bank also is the right. The bank also has the right to stop the checkbook facility and close the account for repeat offense of bounce check. If the drawer makes the payment of the check within 15 days from the date of receipt of notice, then drawer does not commit any offense. If the check is bounced and the person who make the check, maker of the check, made the payment within 15 days from the date of receipt of notice, then there is no criminal offense. Otherwise, the payee may proceed to file a case in the court of the jurisdictional magistrate within 1 month from the date of expiry of 15 days prescribed in the notice. So, bachcho, this was your topic, dishonor of check. So, today we have completed endorsement of negotiable instrument, crossing of check, and dishonor of check. Now, bachcho, we are going to do some MCQs. The MCQs will help you in getting the clarity on the topic, as well as your complete topic will get revised by the help of these MCQs. Number 1. A dash provides a transfer of the property to that other individual or legal entity. Offer, acceptance, endorsement, none. The answer is endorsement. Where the endorser sign his name only and it's become payable to bearer. Blank endorsement, full endorsement, restrictive endorsement, partial endorsement. The answer is blank endorsement. Blank endorsement. It is defined under section 56, which explains that an instrument can't be endorsed for a part of its amount. Blank instrument, blank endorsement, full endorsement, restrictive endorsement, or partial endorsement. The answer is partial endorsement. Where the endorser puts his signature and write the name of the person who will receive the payment. Blank endorsement, full endorsement, restrictive endorsement, or partial endorsement. The answer is restrictive endorsement. Endorsement which restrict further negotiation. Blank endorsement, full endorsement, restrictive endorsement, or partial endorsement. The answer is restrictive endorsement. A check bear across its face an addition of two parallel lines. General crossing, special crossing, restrictive crossing, or non-negotiable crossing. The answer is general crossing. Check bear across its face an addition of the banker name. Cross check bear across its face an addition of the banker name. General crossing, special crossing, restrictive crossing, not negotiable crossing. The answer is special crossing. It directs the collecting bank that it need to credit the amount of check only to the account of pay. General crossing, special crossing, restrictive crossing, not negotiable crossing. The answer is restrictive crossing. It is when the word not negotiable are written between the two parallel lines. General crossing, special crossing, restrictive crossing, not negotiable crossing, non-negotiable crossing. Advantages or importance why to cross a check. A. Minimize the risk. B. Paying instruction. C. Payment through the bank. Or D. All of the above. The answer is D. All of the above. So, bachcho, I am again showing you the illustration. Please, everyone, take a photo. Try to attempt these MCQs at your home also. Either take a photo or take a screenshot. Now this, take a photo or take a screenshot. Try to attempt these illustrations. Take a photo or a screenshot. So बच्चों, thank you all for joining. Please everyone take care, stay safe, stay healthy. In next lecture we are going to discuss Income Tax Act. Okay.